Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I hope you enjoy this video because I have a pretty big book haul for you all. Now these are some books that I am going to be glad to share with you guys because then that can mean that I can finish filing them away. I have been working on revamping our homeschool area and space, kind of prepping it to get it ready for the end of July, which is when we typically start homeschooling. Now, if you like book hauls, I do want to let you know that today's video, I am actually collabing with my friend Kristie over at These Little Sprouts. She's going to be sharing some things that she purchased book-wise for her homeschool as well. Now, we love read-alouds around here, and so there are 3 places that I typically will purchase books for our curriculum or just for our enjoyment, and that is Thriftbooks, Book Outlet, and Amazon. So we do have a used bookstore or 2 actually in our area that sometimes I go to, but I haven't been there in a while, and it's just easier to go to one of those 3 places or all 3, which is what I'm going to share in this video. So let's get started with Book Outlet. Now, if you have not seen any of my curriculum videos, we use literature-based curriculum for the most part, and so a lot of these books are books that I have gotten to accompany my children's curriculum for next year, and I'll kind of explain it as we go along. So let's get started. So the first book I got is The Door in the Wall, and this is one I got to go with our curriculum. We are going to be studying medieval history next year, and so there is that one. This next one is The Last Little Cat. I actually got this because my daughter, who's going into 2nd grade, she actually needs this for her Sunlight readers next year. She is just doing the readers portion of Sunlight, not the actual full Sunlight program. We're using BiblioPlan next year, which again, if you want to know what we are using for curriculum, I'll stick a link to that down below. But this is one of the books that is on the level 3 readers for Sunlight. I also picked up this book. This is a book that I have been interested in for a while. It is probably going to be one of our summer read-alouds. The Toothpaste Millionaire. My friend Katie over at Life in the Mundane actually recommended this one, and so I picked that one up. These next 2 books are books that I got to accompany, once again, our history curriculum. This is The Squire and the Scroll, and then The Princess and the Kiss, The Story of God's Gift of Purity, and this one is A Tale of the Rewards of a Pure Heart. And then the next thing I got, the cover is gone, but this is Everyday Graces. And this book actually goes with my daughter Lily, who's in kindergarten. We are going to be using Gentle and Classical Primer, which is like ages 5 through 7, so like kindergarten-ish. We're going to be using that as part of her kindergarten next year. And so this goes along with teaching like different virtues and things like that. It uses different poems and stories and things like that along with scripture to teach those, and so that's what Everyday Graces is, and it tells us in our curriculum when to use that one. The next book I got is also for Gentle and Classical Primer, and that is The Story of the Orchestra. I did go ahead and order this used. I don't think I could find it new. I think that's what the issue was. I actually used to use this in my music classroom when I taught public school, but it is exactly as it says, The Story of the Orchestra, and so it has all of the different pictures for the different instruments and things like that, but then also different composers and different works, different orchestral works and stuff, and it has this accompanying CD that you can play along with it to teach your child those things. So if you're looking for just something really easy and quick to implement and use with your kids throughout your homeschool year, and you don't have like a lot of background with music and don't want to spend a lot of time or money on it, this is actually a really great resource to use for that because it covers so many different things. So The Story of the Orchestra. This next stack is from Book Outlet. I have been using it for years and recommending it over here. I'll stick a link. It's a referral link. I get reward points if you buy through that link, but then also you get a coupon on your first order. So then you get a referral link that you can use as well and earn reward points. And those reward points help you get free books. So Book Outlet is basically just what it says. It's like a clearance book outlet that it's all new books. I've never had one book that was below my expectations. I've had a couple that maybe had like a bent cover or something like that, but who cares? You can just lay something heavy on it and it'll flatten it out. But I've been very, very pleased with Book Outlet. And so here's the books that I got from them. So I got Crispin, which Crispin, the Cross of Lead by Avi. So this actually is going to be for my oldest son for his reading curriculum this year. Again, it goes along with our history as well. I also got the Shakespeare Stealer, and this looked really interesting. I've heard some good things about it. I haven't completely decided yet what books we're for sure going to use as family read-alouds. It kind of depends how quickly we get through all the things this year, because it is a new history curriculum for us and there is a lot of reading and things like that. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear. Some of these we may just stick back on the shelf and use another year, and that's fine, or read them in the summer next year, but this is one that I got just in case. The next one that I picked up is the Boxcar Children, because I realized that some of my kids have not heard this book. I read this when my oldest was in kindergarten, our first year of homeschooling, and I don't know what happened to our book, so I went ahead and I got that one. I also got this. I thought this would be a really great addition just to our home library, but also I wanted to pull in some more diverse books into our curriculum for medieval times. It's actually really hard to find like literature and stuff that is more diverse that goes with medieval time period, and so this is one of the ones that I found. Beat the Story Drum Pum Pum, and it's just different stories throughout history and the culture from different cultures in Africa, and I thought that would be a fun one just to pick up and sometimes read out of. The next thing that I grabbed was Third Grade Detectives. This is book number 1. Now, Book Outlet actually has pretty much all of the ones in this series, or at least a lot of them. This is for my daughter's reading for the Sunlight readers. I actually need to grab a couple more of them, but they didn't have them at the time when I ordered that one, but now they do, so they're in my cart already. The next one I got is Frankie Sparks and the Talent Show Trick. Now, we got the first Frankie Sparks book and read it as a read aloud as a family. It was so cute. And so I went ahead and grabbed this one with my daughter in mind as a fun read this summer. The next book is Molly Bannicky. This is a book that we have read a couple of times and I just really want in our home library, and they had it on Book Outlet, so I grabbed it. This next one I thought would be great to go along with our study this year of medieval history as well, especially when we get into talking more about like Asia and some of the different countries there. And it is The Tale of the Mandarin Ducks. I thought that would be a good one, especially for my younger learners that maybe have a hard time getting into some thicker read-alouds. I like to break it up a little bit with picture books. This next one, The Velveteen Rabbit, is for my kindergartner. Don't know what happened to our copy of Velveteen Rabbit. Probably got ripped up or something. It was pretty old. My oldest is 12, so so some books are having to be replaced. But this is to go with her curriculum. And this one also goes with her curriculum. It is actually The Colors and Sounds of Kandinsky's Abstract Art. It's the Noisy Paint Box. And this looked so cool to me. So we are actually, even though Gentle and Classical Primer is for ages 5 through 7, there are some things that I really like about it that I'm actually going to use for our entire family during our morning time. And one of those things is the art and music portion. And so this will be, I'm sure, really enjoyed by the whole family. So this is just a neat looking book. The next one is also for my kindergartner's curriculum, and it is Stone Soup. And then this book I actually got with one of my sons in mind. One of my sons has dyslexia, and so does this little girl in the book. And so I thought this would be a really great book for him, just because it's important to make sure that our kids' struggles are represented, and so they don't feel so alone, especially with something like dyslexia, a learning disability. And so so I grabbed that one for him. Okay, so now we're moving on to Amazon. And so the first book that I grabbed is the Imagination Station book number 1. I got this for my upcoming 5th grader, and it is Voyage with the Vikings. So I thought that this would be a good independent read for him, because he is starting to be able to get into reading more chapter books. That has been a struggle, but he's doing really well, and so I think he will really enjoy reading this one, especially as it will kind of go along with what we're studying next year in history. I also got Viking Adventure. This book is also one of the Sunlight readers for my daughter. I also got The Littles, which is a Sunlight reader for my daughter. The Long Way Westward, which again is a Sunlight reader. This one is as well. Clara and the Book Wagon. The Chalkbox Kid. So I guess these next couple ones are Sunlight readers. And the Paintbrush Kid. The Paintbrush Kid. So those are all Sunlight readers for her next year. And another book that I grabbed that I thought would be really cute for this summer is the Anna Hibiscus book. And so we are going to read through this one. I always like to kind of get my kids started by reading the first book in a series, just to kind of get them interested from then on. Okay, so for my oldest, for another one of his independent reads for reading this year, I grabbed him Beowulf. This specific version of Beowulf was the one that was recommended for his age range, and so I grabbed that. Then I got this as a family read aloud, and it is The Sword in the Tree. I've heard really good things about that one. The next one, I'm really excited about this one. My friend Ryan over at Mama on Mission, she recommended this one, but it's The Adventures of Sir Lancelot the Great. And it looks really funny just by the pictures on the front. I think it's going to be a really fun and funny read on that one. Okay, these next 4 books are just different fairy tale books that I got for my kindergartner for her curriculum. And so the books are, I really like this series. It is Little Red Riding Hood, The 3 Little Pigs, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. It's just the very traditional story of them. And then also I grabbed this for a summer read aloud as well. I've heard good things about this one. I don't know if we'll get to it in time or not. It may have to wait. It may be one that we read throughout the year, but it's Little Pear. I've heard good things about that. So now this book is for sure a family read aloud for next year. I can tell you that. It is The Princess and the Goblin, and I'm actually really excited about this one. I think it'll be fun to read together. This goes with our curriculum for next year as well. It is Chanticleer and the Fox. And then this one I'm super excited about. My husband is actually going to be reading this as a family read aloud. We are a huge Tolkien loving family. But we have not read The Hobbit together as a family yet. And so I got this really fun illustrated version of The Hobbit for us to read through next year as a family. This is one of the suggested read alouds for our curriculum. And I love the pictures that are in here. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to read this as a family with my husband being the one that actually reads it. So anyway, so that is the book haul that I have for you guys. Make sure to head over and check out Kristie's book haul as well. And I will see you guys on future videos. Thanks so much, guys, and have a blessed day.